Hello, this is Prince of Somnia, and welcome back, at long last, to Let's Play Xenoblade Chronicles. Yeah, I don't have a good excuse for this. For those of you following along with the channel live, I posted episode 81 of this LP in 2019. It is now 2021, and only now am I getting to the bonus episodes. To make a long story short, a lot of circumstances came together to make it hard for me to get to this sooner, including my own laptop's failing hard drive, 2020 in general, and a certain MMO with a free trial covering hundreds of hours of content, as well as a crap ton of real people work. I was prepared to start these bonus episodes towards the end of 2019, and then they literally announced the definitive edition right before I start recording again, and I was like, dang, that's crazy. Guess I'll wait for that then. Over a year after its release, I finally made it to the end of the game of the definitive edition, meaning that my progress on my file that I have for this game caught up with the LP file, meaning that I can and will record the post-game using the definitive edition rather than the base game. If you're curious, the definitive edition is nearly the same game with a graphics overhaul and a handful of quality of life features, as well as a new time attack mode that we'll go over in the next episode. Also this title screen that you see here, which is shown after you save clear data once only on the definitive edition. DEO adds quest markers for just about every quest that lets you see enemies, collectibles, and other objectives for every quest in the game, making it super easy to locate whatever quest items you need. And it also enables quest tracking to highlight that quest with blue markers and a trail that leads directly towards that objective. It's for that reason that the format of the remaining side quest episodes I have yet to edit together aren't going to follow the format of the previous side quest episodes. Well, okay, that plus the fact that I don't have time to sift through that much footage. Now, rather than showing full gameplay of each quest, I will instead utilize a series of infographics identifying every quest you can and or should complete during that point in the game, with brief narration to handle some of the more tricky, notable, or interesting quests. The exceptions to that rule are Band of the Betrayer and Melancholy Tyrea, which I recorded already in Definitive Edition for those episodes. Now that being said, if you followed along with the LP, you knew that for standard casual and or first playthroughs there's some quests that I don't recommend tackling until after you've beaten the game once, as well as areas I recommend you avoid. These quests and areas that involve fighting or really interacting with enemies above the level of the final boss, which is generally understood to be about level 83. This implies that a first-timer playing casually only fights white-tagged or weaker enemies, meaning that they themselves would get to be about level 83, although even in that case it isn't that difficult to take on yellow-tagged enemies with a half-decent setup. A good setup can even finish off red-tagged enemies at lower levels with some luck, but that isn't the point of my recommendation here. I only recommend playing this way because dealing with those quests will cause you to level up fast, and if you get far enough beyond level 83, you'll trivialize the fight with Zanza. Trust me, I did that the first time I beat the game, and I wasn't a big fan of doing that in hindsight. Speaking on that point, I probably mentioned this in the LP, but a few areas on the Bionis have changed after the events of Mechonis Core. Erythsea and Alchemoth are now infested with Telethia ranging from the mid to high level 80s, and an entirely new area of Tephra Cave has been opened, filled with enemies ranging from the high 80s to the mid to high 90s. There are a handful of quests in either of those areas, or quests that take you to those areas, but since I plan on covering those changes in more detail in bonus episodes, some of those quests will actually be covered in those videos. Any post-game quests that I have no plans of showing on screen or mentioning in those episodes, I will show off in an infographic. Otherwise, next time on Let's Play Xenoblade Chronicles, we'll be going over the new time attack mode, and then we'll talk about wrapping up Colony 6's reconstruction. See you guys then!